Welcome to yet another video edition of the Ball is Bay NBA podcast, your favorite NBA podcast in an Indian accent. Um, we recorded this video shortly after Vince Carter announced his retirement, and we asked Vince to be on the show, but he pretended like he didn't know us, so that was not good for us. Anyway, we got the next best thing. We've got with us someone, you'll see who it is in the next scene. But yeah, please check it out. And if you don't follow us already on Instagram, please do follow us on Instagram as Ball is Bay Pod. Subscribe to this channel, like the video. You know, you do it all the time, right? Okay, cheers. Next up, video with me, Vineet, and special guest.
Good morning.
Hey man, how's it going?
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm amazing. Thank you very much. You know, these days during this COVID, I know it's in India, it's right now very bad, and the world has stopped with this COVID, but we are glad to be breathing and alive. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. How are things in Toronto for you?
We're good. We had only 111 cases in Ontario yesterday.
Okay.
And only 3 deaths. So, you know, Canada has handled it very nicely. Canada has handled it in a very good way, and really proud of it. And the way they have come across. Yes, we have suffered a lot for the last 4 months. We had basically closed. My car business just opened up 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
So we have suffered a lot financially. But if you're alive after this, you're good. You're doing well.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
It's not a question of dollars and cents right now, or rupees and paisa. It's a question that you are alive. That's what matters. And our season is starting in Orlando on August the 1st. We are going to be playing Lakers the very first game.
Yeah. Are you excited for the playoffs? Is this the first time you're going to miss it?
Well, it's not first time under COVID. I don't know how it works right now. Till August the 20th, they are the regular season games.
Mm-hmm.
Playoff starts on the 21st or 22nd. We'll see how it goes. But I don't want to, it's with no fans. I can probably get a way towards it to be there, but it's not worth, because when I come back to Canada, I have to 14 days, I have to quarantine again. And then when I go there, I have to be quarantined again. So, so I rather, but Raptors are coming up with a drive-through playoff series here. They're going to have a big, they're going to do something different, like a Jurassic Park. Are you familiar with Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
People who stand outside, 12,000 people, and they watch the game on the big screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're creating something with social distancing here during the playoff.
Okay, that's awesome. I think it's been a very challenging time, especially for us content creators. I don't know if you remember, you met Ashwin in Mumbai, and that was probably one of our most successful content that we created last year. Was it, or this? Yeah, it was last year.
Before the NBA India games.
Yeah, before that.
Yes, it was last year.
It seems like it was 3 years back.
It was last year. It was amazing. I'm glad that you liked it.
Yeah, it was very good. And thanks for taking the time. I think one of the reasons I'm sure Ashwin has his introduction ready for you, but I just wanted to say, last time I couldn't talk to you, but I've been following your journey for a long time, and I always said that you are, one of the most important Indian figures in basketball. So it's an honor for me to have this conversation with you, and thanks for doing whatever you do.
Thank you very much. God has been good to me, and it is this is a God-given. Otherwise, where would you find a guy with a beard and turban in North America who was the Grand Marshal of the biggest parade in the world, on this planet?
Yep.
Who will get the players' ring? I'm the only non-player to get ever in the history of any sports. You can take cricket, field hockey, soccer, whatever you want to do. Nobody has gotten. And, it was nice of Raptors and NBA to bless me with this rare player ring. It's not that it's worth $80,000. It's not that. But for me, it's, there's no value to it. It's priceless.
Right.
And then you know that in February I was inducted also into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So, where can somebody dream? I mean, I had a reporter the other day from North here in Canada, and he comes to me and he tells me, he says, Superfan, you know what? This might not be repeated in my time, in my lifetime, getting the Grand Marshal, getting the Players Ring, and being in the Hall of Fame. So, here I am, and I was teasing Vince. I said, Vince, I'm in the Hall of Fame before you do it. And some of the players are, Daniel, Lydia, Lillian. Everybody is saying, shit, we do 30 points and this and this and that, and we steal points, and you have done without, you're in the Hall of Fame without doing any. I said, it's more than just scoring the points in life.
Yeah, I think
you made it there before LeBron, so that's definitely it.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, and also how lucky I am. I'm on the same class as Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, and Tim Duncan. Oh my God! I mean, how can it be? Can you imagine? If Kobe was alive and there was no COVID, this August I would have been with all those guys. Can you imagine that?
That is
it's
crazy.
Amazing. God. So that tells you God exists and God is there.
Okay, awesome. That's great. So Ashwin, do you want to?
I'll start off.
Yeah.
Then. Okay, sir. Vinny, you're recording, right?
Yeah, I'm recording. I mean, we can put. Yeah, I'm recording. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do the adjustments.
He's recording everything, even now. What we are talking about is recording.
Okay, then. All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Welcome once again to yet another episode, the video episode of this amazingly produced Ball is Game podcast, your favorite NBA podcast in Indian accent. On the occasion of Vince Carter announcing his retirement from the NBA, we tried to get him on the podcast, but he didn't pick up our call. So we thought of kidnapping the next best person to talk about Vinsanity, because he also started his career in Toronto. We have with us none other than, you can see, we have with us Hall of Famer, super fan of the NBA, Toronto Raptors' very own Nav Bhatia. Nav Bhatia, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. And I think it's a good evening in Mumbai, in India right now, to everybody who is tuned in to the podcast.
Okay. You told us a little bit about how what are you missing most? Because I know that you go to the Raptors, you go to the Scotiabank Arena before anything has started. Like you're there, and then you're there till the end.
I'm there an hour before, and I'm there hour because I go early there, and this has been my style for the last. My record for the last 25 years. I've never missed a game. I've never been late for a game, and I've never left a game early. And I go now. I'm always there early for the game because the fans give me so much love, and everybody is. Before the game, I see all these young guys, girls, guys, boys, everybody, older people who are waiting, 150 to 200 people. I take a picture with them and put a smile on their face. And I always believe if I can put a smile on somebody's face by just taking a picture, I think God has blessed me with that. So I am thankful to the Almighty that I'm able to put smiles to a lot of people's face and inspire a lot of people as they say that. And also after the game, I stay there an hour after the game because people wait for me to come out of the game and they are lined up to take a picture. So I'm really blessed with that. And that's how I've been. And my slogan for basketball has been that I'm bringing the world together, game of basketball. And that's what I'm doing, basically, bringing everybody together, irrespective of their religion, color, faith, gender, just together. That's all I'm doing. That's what I do. That's what my foundation does. And I'm loving it and wouldn't change it for anything else as long as I'm breathing.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Like I was telling, we need, our journey for this because we don't live where basketball like NBA exists. For us, it's like, now we don't have to wake up anymore to watch the game, and it's really disturbing for us. For you, your entire day schedule has changed. So how are you dealing with the absence of basketball?
Well, I think, March the 12th was the day when NBA, March 11th, late night. And I remember I was partying with all the ballers at our coaches. Coach Nurse had thrown a party. They had just come from Denver because the day before they played in Denver, they came and you know what happened on that day on the party. We found out that Rudy Gobert from Denver caught COVID-19. So after the party, we were worried. And during the end of the party, they announced that NBA is stalling. They're going to be stopping the season. And that's what they did. And the next 5-6 days, we were basically worried that who caught it and who didn't. So we had to wait because we were with all the players and talking and all that. And so, for 5-6 days, we found out that nobody had COVID. So there was a sort of a relief. And none of the Raptors had contracted COVID-19. And so what we did is, and then I was sort of, world came to stop. Everything stopped. They closed the businesses. They closed the restaurants. The life stopped everywhere, I guess, in the world. But especially in Canada, the life stopped because Prime Minister Trudeau just stopped everything. And I got stuck with my wife at home and I said, shoot, man, I can't handle that. So I have to do something. So what I did is I bought a food truck and I started, and there was a lot of issues going on the front line with the nurses because it attacked pretty fast and pretty quick, with the COVID. I said, I got to do something. I can't stay at home. I got to be in touch with the people and do something for the humanity. So I got a food truck. I wrapped it up in my Nav Bhatia Superfan Foundation and I started distributing about 500 meals, hot meals, lunch every day. And with God's grace, that's what I did. Answering your question, for the last 3 months, 2.5 months, I've distributed over 15,000 hot meals to the police department, to the nurses, to the paramedics, and all the frontline workers all around Ontario and Toronto.
Wow.
So that's what I've done, and it has given me a very good satisfaction, sort of, doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the reasons for inviting you here is, we wanted to talk about kind of Vince Carter and his contribution to the Toronto Raptors. So
his entire NBA career.
Not just to the Toronto Raptors.
Right. But I think But I think we want to start off with the Toronto Raptors because I think that's the part where you kind of got to know him, and I think him and Tracy McGrady had this really good combination back then. So what was from your perspective? When was the first time you met Vince Carter, and were you Nav Bhatia, the super fan then, or were you just Nav Bhatia, the guy who comes to all the games?
No, I was just the Nav Bhatia at that time because I just became super fan during his time, But let me tell you what happened. When he was drafted, he came, and he was the very talked about player in the league at the time, And when he came, I still remember he was at the Sky Dome Hotel, and he came with his mom and the entourage of 20, 30 people in a private plane. And I was standing there because I seen him, and I've talked on the television, and everybody, the whole world was excited about him, especially the Toronto. So I was there. I was waiting there for a couple of hours, and I just was able to say hello because I was one of the few hundred people waiting in order to, say hello to him. And you know what? Right after that, when the season started, I got connected with him somehow or the other through some other players. And he became a family to me. He became like a little son to me. He's still a family to me. And, I was blessed to be the only Canadian to go to his wedding. His mother is a good friend of mine. And even after he was traded in 2004, his mother, I invite his mother every time he's in Toronto. His mother comes and sits with me on the game. If you want to see some old tapes, you will see his mother is always there for the road game when he comes to Toronto, even if he came as a New Jersey Nets, or he came as a Dallas, or he came as an Orlando Magic, or he came as a Sacramento King, whenever he was here, or Atlanta. His last trip was on, I believe, on July, in January, the end of January, right after Kobe Bryant was dead. And I remember, when Kobe Bryant was killed in that unfortunate accident. And we celebrated, we saluted Kobe Bryant on that day. So he was there after the game, on that game, and I remember having a very good conversation. I had a lot of kids who wanted to see him, and he has always obliged me to see the kids, who really love him still. I mean, these kids they still love him, and in spite of the controversy at the time of he was traded, he still is, he's Mr. Toronto, he's Mr. Canada. And I'm still in touch with his family on a regular basis, with his family. And I knew that he was going to retire this. I wish that the retirement would have happened in a different way, because he was going to come here on April the 10th for his final game in Toronto. And
that would have been great, yeah.
It would have been great, because he deserves that. He deserves that goodbye, deserves that love and respect, because the guy has done so much. I mean, I cannot tell you. I was very attached, and I know him through the personal touch. I mean, I'm going to share with you the big star he is, and he was during that time. He was like a big. There was a mania about it.
Absolutely, yeah.
When he used to go to the road games, the games were sold because everybody wanted to see this half man, and amazing. This is everybody. And in every game was sold out when he was here. And I tell you, people were every day watching, shoot, what is he going to do today now? Because it was a show. He used to put up a show. I mean, he will go there, he will do a reverse 360 and dunk the ball with 2-3 players around him from the opposing team. I mean, he was a show. I mean, but I don't like him because he was the best dunker. I like him, what he did for the kids. And that's what, I don't get impressed with how much money somebody has. He's a billionaire or a millionaire. I don't get impressed with that. I don't get impressed at how many points some player puts in. I get impressed and moved by what he has done for the kids. And this guy, I can tell you, because I worked with him, he's like a son to me. He used to have a camp every year. He used to have a basketball camp for the kids. And not for 5 kids or 20 kids or 40 kids, 600 kids. Most of the superstars, and I will say that and challenge, no player of any sports has done right here in Canada what Vince did. Because after the games were over in the summertime, and every player goes the next flight back to America, to their home state, to their home. Not Vince. He spent 7, 8, 10 days here. We used to do a camp. Now this one I'm talking about 20 years ago. We used to do a camp every year for the time he was in Toronto, where 600 kids will come and spend 1 week with us, with him. And he will bring some other players to help in his camp. And that's the reason that today Canada has 30 players who are playing in the NBA or eligible for NBA. People like Corey Joseph, people like Tristan Thompson, people like Kelly, people, Wiggins. All these players, they are a part of that time. They got attracted to the game of basketball because of Vince Carter. I remember 24, 22, 23 years, I used to go to a store, you couldn't find anything about basketball. Today, every corner store has something about basketball and the Raptors. So this guy, what he did, I salute him. And it's good. Player like this come once in a lifetime. Yeah. We were blessed to have him. And I think our survival today, the Raptors are surviving because he was a part of it at that time. Otherwise, we would have been the same way Vancouver Grizzlies. So he has a big thing which he did, not just as a dunker and all that he dunked over 8-foot guy, French guy and all. No. He did what he did for the kids. And today Canada became a champion, and he has a lot to do with that. And when he came on end of January, I told him, I said, VC, you got to wear this ring because you have he says, no. I'm not going to wear this. I said, you better wear it or I'm going to get upset. I'm a Sikh, I could get violent. So, so he wore it and took a picture. So if you check my Instagram, you will see Vince wearing a picture and all that. And I was really looking forward for April the 10th game with Atlanta Hawks. But sometimes, you play with what you are dealt with, and this COVID-19 came, and his season was, he started in a short season in 98, 99, and he ended up in a short season. So that's what life they take sometimes. So that's what it is, my friends.
So now you've talked to Vince, was is such a good friend for you. You talk to he's your son.
Let me tell you, he's not a friend, he's a family to me.
Okay, exactly. So has he ever talked about, in today's NBA, there's always this chatter about you only consider a player great if he's won a ring. If he's done
Yeah.
Has he ever talked to you about whether that part of it has ever affected him?
Look,
part of
for me, he's a champion. And let me tell you something. I can tell you stories after stories about Vince. What he has done to the community, what he has done to the kids. I mean, every year I used to have him and have the kids come and take a picture with him, thousands of them. There used to be a lineup. If the autograph session and the picture session was at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, there was a lineup 7 in the morning. I had to bring security to and he did so much for the community and the kids. For me, he was a champion and he will always be a champion. And I think most of the people recognize that he did. And look at that, played four different decades.
Yeah.
In a 4 different, he played and lasted. And it was not just he was a bench player, but he was a contributor. He was a good player even in his last, And I'm so happy that he ended up his last thing with a 3-point shot. You saw that?
I've seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever talk to him about coming to India maybe once?
I have, and I'm going to NBA India. I'm going to be announcing sometime later on when he retires. We are going to bring him. It is my wish to bring him to India. So you think Indians are ready for him, for Vinsanity?
Absolutely. We've been waiting for Vinsanity.
Okay. So we will, God willingly, with all these things happening. Right now, the times have, maybe a year later or so. But I tell you one thing. It is my dream to bring him to India and see that beautiful country and the people. And we will definitely do that with the time to come. I have talked to NBA also about it.
Okay.
And we have talked to NBA India also. And I have talked to Vince and Vince's mom. So,
you have done all the groundwork.
I'm doing, so because, I need to take him to Taj Mahal. I need him to take to my New Delhi where I was born and all that. So, and like I said, he's a family to me. And, I think he has to see my home country with me there and also meet the kids there and inspire the kids and inspire the Indian kids, because one day I want a Indian kid to be on a NBA as a starter. And that's what I want, and that's what my dream is now, to have one Indian as a NBA guy. And I think he will inspire a lot of people there. And let me tell you, he's still very fit. He's very fit. He takes care of his health and sleep and everything very properly. And the funny part is he had a son last year.
Okay.
He had a son, and Vince Carter Jr. And I sort of had I'm going to share this with you. It's funny because I signed his kid for the Raptors for 2037 draft. I signed him as our pick, and I gave him a little contract also and all. So, I love Vince, he's my family. And so in India, when we come, we're going to have a good time.
One more question I had was, do you remember the the season where I think the Toronto Raptors had both Tracy and Vince, and it felt like they were going to go to the championships, especially out of the Eastern Conference. Do you remember that? Do you have some memories of those?
Are you talking about the Philadelphia game and all that?
Yes.
Yeah,
The one with
I was in Philadelphia when he missed the last shot.
I was gonna bring that up, but I didn't want to bring back bad
I was
memories.
there.
Game 7. Game 7.
I was also I went to New York I was in New York when we won our first ever playoff series. I was in New York also.
Oh,
And
wow.
I remember after the game when we won that thing, he came to my seat. I was sitting 3-4 rows behind. He came and gave me his headband. It's on the YouTube. You can see that, So
Wow.
yes, I've been, I've gone to like I don't miss games. And he was a showman also. He was not just he's a one great guy, and the way he handles in the locker and all that in Atlanta, in Sacramento, in Dallas, and you talk to anybody, everybody will say that he was a team guy. And even as a superstar and he was on the bench or whatever, he was always good. And I talked to the other players who worked with him in Atlanta, all these guys who are in Atlanta, the young guys, and they say, man, Vince has done a lot for us by staying with us, by being in the team. He helps us a lot. So, and that's what he's going to continue doing it.
Yeah.
He's going to continue doing, sort of inspiring the future of NBA, the future basketball with his time and knowledge and his skills.
Awesome.
Now I wanted to ask you, like, where can we get this T-shirt from? Do you think they are shipping it to India maybe?
I don't know. You can go on the Nav Bhatia Superfan Foundation. This is a championship T-shirt, my friend.
Yeah.
Is there a discount code for podcasters that have you on?
You know what? There should be. Let me tell you, NBA basketball is the most entertaining game on this planet. I might get killed by some cricket lovers on that.
No. I mean, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
For a couple of hours, when you go to a basketball game, the NBA basketball game, it's the most entertaining. You are in a different zone. You forget about everything else. That you have a wife, you have a kid, or whatever. When you are at the basketball game, you're in a different zone, and that's why I'm addicted to this game of basketball.
Are you saying that you used to go to the basketball games to get away from your wife?
No, I'm not. But, it was not the reason, but I found out that it was a good reason. It gave me a lot of, and also, joking aside, it gave me an opportunity to integrate with everybody else. And that's very important. You got to integrate with the other people. Doesn't matter what religion they are, what color they are, what gender they are, what nationality they came from. It gives you, because if you want to make a good society, you got to integrate. Because deep inside, 99.999%, we are all same. We are all same. You can be from Chennai, you can be from Mumbai, I can be from Punjab, I can be from Kashmir. Deep inside, we human beings, we people, we are the same. This is the politicians and whatever the other people do, they separate, but look at that. But so it gave me the opportunity. And you know what? At that time, when I first started going to the game, there were hardly maybe 30 or 40 people of Indian descent who were there, South Asians.
Right.
And everybody was, staring and all that. But now you go there's a 3,000 people. So we have integrated. We have become, nobody sees he's an Indian or he's a Pakistani or he's a Sikh or he's a Hindu or he's a Jew. Nobody cares. We are for the same passion. We want our Raptors to win. We are cheering for the same team, and that's all it matters.
So now, I mean, all those win stories are amazing. We have got some, this or that kind of questions for you. So we're gonna give you two choices, and then you tell us which one you prefer, whichever. Okay, so first one is headband wins or wins without a headband? Which one is your favorite wins?
Headband.
Okay.
You can finish yours, then I'll go for mine.
Okay, all right. Like Vince Carter or DeMar DeRozan, like who has created more impact for the?
That's a difficult question because they're both my kids. They're both like but I think it's Vince Carter.
Okay. I mean, so that trade was a little more difficult for you to.
It was a very
Get
difficult trade, and I cried actually. But you know
Oh,
what?
wow.
I prayed for him, and he's an amazing guy, and he has a big part in this ring also. And I told him that also. So he has a big part in that, and he's a gentleman and very close to me. As you know, that his wife and kids always were sitting next to me on my seats, there, and his daughters used to play with my beard. When they were born, 3, 4, 5 months, I used to hold them. So he's a very close to me. DeMar DeRozan, amazing player, amazing human being.
Okay. So there's something about Canada. Canada just like brings out all the niceness in people. Something about the society. How it's so accepting.
Yeah, Canadian people. We are very polite here, and when people go low, we go high, and that's what we do. And that's what we do. And if you know that last year in the playoffs, one of the Milwaukee fans called me some bad names and all that. I don't know if you know that or not.
Yes.
And we handled it in a nice way, different way. And he has become a good friend of mine now with his family. I took him to a game. I took him for a dinner, and he became a friend of mine now. And he knows about the Sikhs. So
Right.
this is how we do. When people go low, we go high.
Right. So my question for you.
That's mine. Your favorite dunk from Vince's rookie season? Is it the one over Mutombo or the one over Rick Smith in Indiana?
Over which one?
Rick Smith over here. Rick Smith, he had behind the back.
I believe on Mutombo.
Mutombo.
Yeah, because Mutombo is tall guy and all that, so it's on Mutombo.
Okay. I'm sorry for stealing your question.
Oh, you did steal my question. But I mean, I had a different version of a question. But
Okay.
I think for me, which duo do you think you would keep close to your heart and would be like the duo of the Raptors? Would it be Kyle Lowry and Rosen, or McGrady and Vince Carter?
Vince Carter.
Vince Carter and McGrady? Okay.
Yes. Vince Carter and McGrady. And mainly because of, and McGrady, Tracy, T-Mac is a very good friend of mine.
Okay.
He's like my little brother also.
Okay.
And I gave him my peace of mind when he left here and all that, because we could have become maybe a champion earlier.
Yes, I think that team has the potential, yeah.
Yeah, but he was young. He wanted his own, he didn't want to be under anybody's shadow. But he's a different guy now, and I believe he regrets that too now.
Absolutely, yeah. I think he has said that many times.
I think he said that, yeah. In
many
ESPN, he said that.
But he's an amazing guy again. Really, really good friend of mine. He's a little brother of mine. Whenever he's in Toronto, he only calls me and we go together for a private dinner, and that's all it is. He doesn't want too many people around and all that. He's an amazing guy, an amazing family guy. He has matured a lot.
Okay. So the second question I have is, which is your favorite Vince Carter dunk? Is it the one in the All-Star game, or was it the one in the Olympics?
It's the All-Star.
The All-Star game, which the
off the backboard.
Okay.
When he
he says it's over. Okay, that's
over. It's over.
Oh, the slam dunk one. Okay. I thought the slam dunk one. Okay.
His all is dunk. I think they should name the All-Star dunk after Vince Carter dunk now.
Absolutely.
They should say that it's a, they shouldn't say anything else. They should say Vince Carter dunk competition. That's it. Nobody can. I mean, that was the best dunk ever. I mean, and there have been a lot of good dunks.
Right.
But that was the one. Amazing.
It was really smooth. I think that's the, I think that's
effortless. It looked effortless.
Yeah, I think that's what Vince Carter kind of represents with his, specifically with his dunking. It's just, it looks so natural, smooth, effortless. It's just like he's just like on a spring. Everyone.
His shock absorbers were very good.
Yeah,
very good shock absorbers. I mean, he could jump, he could turn 360 and whatever. But I tell you one thing. It was not just during the dunk competition, but it was during his regular games on the road. He used to do the amazing things, and also at home. Everybody used to say, what is he going to do today? What is he going to do today?
Okay. So this third question is a little controversial. So, I think I know the answer, but it is a little controversial.
Go ahead.
So in the sort of the 2000s, right? As far as I remember, Vince Carter, Allen Iverson, and Kobe were kind of similar in terms of their play
skill, yes,
play
yes.
skill and everything. And it was very, and I think there was it was Allen Iverson, Vince Carter, and Kobe, right? That was kind of the ranking in general. If you could pick out of those three, I think they all are 96, 97 draft. Who would you pick?
Yeah.
Now knowing that everything has kind of...
Oh my God! You know what? Iverson, again, a friend of mine, amazing guy, amazing player, and actually I'm going to tell you, he's my wife's all-time favorite player.
Allen Iverson.
My wife loved him when he was in the game. His games were the only. If she will see only 2 games a year, those are the 2 games she will go.
Wow.
The way he moved,
Yeah.
I mean, he was amazing. And who can deny Kobe Bryant?
Yes.
Kobe Bryant was Kobe Bryant. Now, what was your question again?
If you could pick, so I think they all are 96 and 97 drafts. I think all 3 of them.
You know what? I mean, I would say it will be between Kobe and Vince, and
okay.
I have to
You have to pick one. You have to pick one, though.
I'm going to be honest with it. I think it will be Kobe.
Okay.
That's a good
answer.
That is not the answer I expected. I thought you would.
No. But I have to be. I mean, Vince knows I love him.
Yes.
And Kobe knew I loved him. Kobe was also, if you've seen my video with him, for the last game he was in Toronto.
Yeah.
He was an amazing player. I think he went to a little
higher, right.
I have to be honest with that.
Yes.
Because I don't want to give you any, and Vince knows I'm his family.
No. I mean, it is the right answer. I will just, so I don't.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. That's all the 3 questions I had for today.
Okay. If you have anything else, I'm ready for it.
Yes. We wanted to talk about a little bit about your favorite Raptors. They're coming back, right? August 1st onwards. The race for this championship will begin again. We'll again be going through 8 games and then into the playoffs.
Yeah.
We're gonna forget everything else. We're gonna talk about the NBA coming back. What do you think the Raptors' chances are? Because they have played out of their minds this season. I don't think anybody gave a chance after Leonard came back. But I think when we talked to you, you said that even if Leonard goes back, we will be champions and we will still have that. There's nothing that's gonna stop Raptors. You were really sure that
I still believe that we have.
Raptors will slide back.
I still believe that we have a very good chance of winning the second time in a row.
Wow.
Because we might not have a superstar in our team. We don't have a LeBron James. We don't have a Giannis, but we do have a very good team which works together with each other. Our coaching staff is amazing. Coach Nurse, amazing. Same coaching staff. And I think I've been talking to Coach Nurse quite a bit. And I believe he's ready.
Okay.
He's ready with his book. He's ready with his book and all that. So I think he's going to do an amazing. We have a very good chance of getting a second ring. And I've been already promised by the ownership of the Raptors that if we win the second time, I'm getting again a player's ring.
Oh, wow.
And we are also getting one more then. So what I was saying is, what in your, you have the year of Nick Nurse and you've obviously seen them all through the year. What has been that factor that has kept them so united? Is it the championship swagger, or is it that now they know that the potential that they can reach, and which has helped them to play amazingly well? As in, I saw that game where they came back from 30 points down. I mean, that's not something that a normal team can do. For that,
not in the playoffs and all that.
You need that confidence. You need to trust yourself.
And I think they have it all. They still are the champions, and they're the reigning champions. So somebody has to. They are still the champion till October the 12th when the last game happens. But let me tell you one thing: they are experienced. They have that little thing on their shoulder now that they are the champs. They have that attitude, but also they are a very good team which works, and there is no individual. And we already are the champions now, right? We have done. which
Yes.
we are only one of the 8 or 9 teams which has ever won a championship. So we have done all that. So I think they are going to have a little chip on the shoulder. They are going to work, and they have been working hard, I think, individually, staying in shape, and we will find out that. This is going to be a different kind of a championship run now. Depends who has done what during these 3-4 months. Because I do believe that our team as a team is a better team than anybody. Last year, when Milwaukee won the first 2 games, even people like you around the world thought that we are done. It is going to be
not me. That was my one prediction.
Yeah, but a lot of people thought that it was going to be a sweep. I remember I was sitting in the 3rd game in Toronto at Scotiabank Arena, and some fans from Milwaukee had a broom because they thought it was going to be a sweep. Look at that. We won the next 4. We won the next 4. So I believe that we are ready. We have all that championship experience now, and we have basically the same team. And I think we are going to be, we are going to again surprise the world. Last year, nobody gave us a chance. Nobody. In the beginning, we were underdog. Again this time, and it's good to be underdog. I've been my underdog in Canada all my life.
And now you're in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, look at that. You're right. You know what I'm trying to say.
I understand. Yeah.
So, so I think it's good to be in the under the radar and then surprise the world. So that's what it is.
That's our plan also.
It's not going to be easy though, because there is there are a few teams which are hungry. Milwaukee is very hungry, because I know everybody in Milwaukee team. I don't know if you saw that Giannis said that the most toughest player, most toughest fan to play in front of is the Superfan. I don't know if you saw that, his tweet.
No.
He said that when I go to Toronto, that fan messes me up. He calls me so many things, and I miss the free throws.
Oh my God.
He missed 6 free throws during the last series. So, this time he's lucky. I'm going to write him. I'm going to send him a message. You're lucky I'm not there. So I mean, this is going to be a different kind of a thing. But I believe that we have a good chance. It won't be easy though. There's a Clippers there, run by a very good coaching and a good team also. Then you have Lakers. Amazing. LeBron is LeBron. The best player on this earth right now is with the Lakers. Yeah, he's the, King LeBron is, King James is there. And, there are some good teams. Denver could surprise a little bit, but Milwaukee and, it's going to be a tough one. But again,
what do you think of the Celtics? Do you think the Celtics
they are again a good team. I mean,
all young boys.
Even Miami, Miami is even, so let's see what happens. But let's see the 8 games which are happening before the playoff will show us that what team is ready and where they are in the readiness. Because this is an unusual time. This is an untested time. When you don't play for 3 months and all of a sudden you're playing, it takes time. It takes them a couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks to go in the game shape. And then the playoffs start. So it's this is going to tell us that how they are prepared and stayed during that COVID of 3-4 months,
Yeah, makes sense. And I think Marc Gasol looks really good. I don't know if you saw his photos.
Marc, he's lost a little bit weight.
A lot of weight, yeah.
He's an amazing human being. Amazing guy, him and his wife and kid, amazing people. And same thing with Van Fleet. Amazing kid.
Yeah.
I love him. We have a lot of, Powell. Jefferson will be also make a difference. So we have some. We are going to be, we are going to be ready. Siakam.
Spicy P.
We are a team. We are not an individual superstar. Look, the game in Golden State, the 6th game, Van Fleet took it over in the fourth quarter. All his 3-pointers.
He didn't miss a single one. Yeah.
Didn't miss a single one.
Man possessed.
So I think we are going to be. I think it's going to be a very interesting next 2-3 months.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And we are very grateful, of course, thankful that
I think
have these discussions.
We in Toronto, I think they are thinking of putting a drive-through, in the cars, 500-600 cars, and a big 100-feet screen, and we can park our cars and see the games as a group, as a party.
That's really
So
nice.
let's see what happens, and we'll keep you informed.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
That was our interview with Hall of Famer Superfan Nav Bhatia, and we're planning to do more interviews with him as the season starts and with other players. So if you like it, please share, like the video, comment, subscribe, do your thing. If you have any questions to ask him that you can't get to him because obviously you are poor people, you are not as great as us. So please write it in the comments. We'll ask him if we can. And enjoy the rest of your day or whatever. Cheers.